Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Nerd channel. My view of everything nerdy is a whole new too. Yeah. This is a little different and I'm going to slowly show myself. I know I'm probably going to scare some people. Yeah, I'm used to being called ugly and obese special ed and the N word and the R word and a slave and yeah, the loud black woman, and I'm trying to be an Oreo or too white, or Mariah Carey, but that's actually a backwards compliment. Like, I mean, she is beautiful, but I wish I could look like her. Anyway, you guys have probably been. Well, I know I don't have that many viewers, but I'm treating both of these channels like my diary, and I get to speak my truth without any edits. And that's one reason why I try not to have any bullet points. I try to speak from the heart because, well, on the other channel, I explain a lot of it, but for over 30 years, I wasn't allowed to. Literally, I wasn't allowed to. And even when I tried to write poetry and diaries, when they were found, mm, watch out. Yeah, so I don't know. This is like writing my novels and my poetry and create, like, even my candles are a way for me to express myself and write stories because, well, and I don't want to just act like my version of candles is the first of whatever, but I try to figure out a way to make something that I haven't seen before. So I'm hoping once people like know of what I'm doing, and you're probably gonna see me adjusting, and because yeah, this is my first time showing my face on either channel. And actually, well, no, if you've been looking at screenshots, then you've already seen what I look like. So, but especially the earlier videos with the dating apps, every screenshot is real. Every screenshot of men tearing me down. And I'm going to be talking a lot about that because it all started because after several breakups and or a lot of judgment over my education and my hobbies, like I love investing, especially like watching my family, watching my dad do it. I wanted to make sure I had a nut, I wanted to say a nutshell, but I wanted to have something of my own so that as I got older, I would have something, a cushion. And now, especially since I got diagnosed, I really want that. And so I'm working on my novels and my children's books and my candles and my greeting cards, and I'm looking at possible future investments and wanting to network so I can learn more about those things because I don't know. Like, even yesterday I was watching different business YouTubers and videos because when I teach college classes, I tell my students, learn every day. Be ready to learn every single day. I learn every day. But then being a black woman with a disability, I've learned I can't say that. I can't say that I learn every day because then I'm about to drag some people. I'm about to drag. Yeah. Do you know how many white men and Middle Eastern men? Yes, I drag the Middle Eastern men because yeah, people of color. Ooh, people of color. The way some of you. Mm. I mean, I've had the good, the bad, the ugly with every demographic in many of my classes, but when it comes to the ugly, especially when white men come up to me and tell me that I look like their last Hooters waitress. I've had that. I think I told that story of how that ended. Yeah, I'm petty. So yeah, oh, I got real petty with that one. and or students coming up to me saying that they must be smarter than me because they didn't go to school in Detroit. And I'm like, you don't know where I went to school. Like, but bye. And also, I'm like, I'm the one teaching a college class right now, but you're telling, real, and the same students who didn't want to put any effort. But I'm going to I'm going to keep dragging because in future episodes, I'm going to continue because now I keep hearing why teachers are quitting and leaving. I keep hearing why jobs are hiring people, but then the students or the people they hire don't know what they're doing. When it comes to Excel sheets and typing, I was teaching in the inner cities or different cities and stuff, and I got asked, "Oh, can you teach?" It's like, "You're really good at this. Can you teach the students?" And I would try, and or the principal would ask me, but then I start doing it, but then other teachers would find out, and they're like, "Oh, you're trying to turn my students white from learning?" Hold up. Wait a minute. Back it up. Like, from learning. Learning means what? Like, hold up. Wait. No. Because, okay. And that's one reason why I'm very political. And that's one reason why with my candles, they represent so much to me. That is why on dating apps, I'm strict with who I spend my time with. Some men can't stand me because I'm, but when my parents both went through segregation and desegregation, the things they went through, when my ancestors were not allowed to go to college and learn, and they had to fight for that. When my mother remembers being able to go and get her bank account. When my dad was encouraging my mother to first go to college and then get her master's, but then some of the males in my family were like, no, she's going to leave you once she gets smart. You better not get her educated. No, you better not go pay for her education because then she's going to be smart. And then later in life, I just thought, okay, that's back in the day. We're growing, but now, do you know how many men told me you choose between your masters and me because I don't want a smart woman? What kind of man would want a smart woman? And while dating, I keep meeting men who they don't deserve a smart woman. But why am I saying all this? Because, well, I'm going to give some examples about the disability community, but this is why I need to write my novels and my stories. So many people don't know or understand what I go through as a woman, as someone who's Black, someone with a disability especially. But then is when I'm a Black woman with a disability, the day by day, even with my 3 degrees, 3 certifications, even if I invest and I know different things with my money, because do you know how many men try to mansplain to me about money, but then they're broke as a joke? More a better joke than what the orange man did at that journalism. Gonna talk about that in another episode too, but babies, it's just I've been given more reason to explain and talk, and it's going to be fiction, but sometimes people grow more empathy and compassion with reading the fiction because either through the adventure that characters growing and you see the humanity in them through their imperfections and mistakes. And I've learned through a lot of mistakes, but at the same time, I'm going to show what happens when you're not allowed to tell your truth through a lot of your life. And I'm going to take the K-pop demon hunters to university soon. Oh, yes, babies, I'm going to be petty with that. It's like, I watched it so many times by now. It's like, it's been a while, so I'm going to watch it again. I was supposed to watch it with Mr. Spider, but he fell asleep each time. And I don't know. I saw a pattern with him. Each time that I really, really liked something or enjoyed something, he didn't like it. He didn't. And that should have been a hint. It should have been a huge, like, there were quite a few times where I was just like, I really like this. I really want this. I really, and he, and I at least liked, some of the stuff he showed. Was I just thrilled and up jumping up and down? No. But I was learning, like, he wouldn't embrace himself, or he wouldn't share himself with me, with the trauma and stuff. So, and sometimes through shows, you get to learn about the other person. It's not just about the show, it's what's within the show. It's like sometimes with their personality and things. And so sometimes when I'm listening to people, their hobbies are part of their story. The books they read a part of them, because I get to see what they enjoy. But then, like, sometimes when they tell me what parts were their favorite, I can pick up, like, oh, you're a scenery type of person. Oh, like, oh, there's a lot of dialogue people on YouTube. Babies, read the whole book. Can you get? I mean, I'm not. No, actually, I am judging, because I don't know. Sometimes I like, because as a writer, I've been looking up some of the booktubers, and I'm just sometimes I just wanna. I'm not even that religious, but I just want to bow my head down and ooh. Do you know how many people I've heard say there's too many words on the pages? Baby Jesus, baby black, baby Jesus. Come on now, come. Okay, but I've been looking and researching and listening to a lot of booktubers, and the ones that and also the ones that say there's no politics in a book, and they're the one. Sometimes when they're reading a book, I'm like, hold up, wait, you just said there's no politics in a book, but the book you just read, you missed so much, especially since you only read the dialogues. Ooh, mm, mm, mm. But this is why it's like, I plan on putting my heart in a book, but now I'm nervous that some of the readers are going to skip over the heart of it. Because yes, words matter. What the characters say is vital. But so is the room, so is what they're eating. So like when I write things, sometimes, like, my MBA is in internet marketing, but I emphasize, or I try to take, as many for both as possible with marketing and internet marketing. But colors is symbolic. Companies use, or even with their logos, they have certain colors for a reason. And the patterns and the font size and the font shapes and so many things are so symbolic for a reason. So sometimes when people are in a cold room, a dark room, sometimes they may be happy, but I don't know. It's like if you read it, I've read books where the characters happy, like they sound happy, but when you're reading the book, you're like, oh, they're depressed. And most people, they think depression is just, oh, love, what was me, blah, blah. No, you can be happy. You can seem happy. You can look happy, but be absolutely miserable. I know this as a fact. But sometimes I just feel like a lot of readers don't read to the depth. And I'm not like, I know some people who read like 15, 50 books, and I'm like, congratulations, I'm so happy for you. I'm not saying that you have to read slower and things like that. But I just know that listening to some of the booktubers, I know I need to pay more attention. Yeah. And I have a list of some that I'm going to give my book to, and there's somewhere I'm just like, you're not gonna like my book. And like having to go back through some of the trauma in my life, sometimes I'm just like, what's gonna be readable? What's gonna be relatable? because most of it's not going to be relatable. Most people are the opposite of me. And but I do want men to read it. I do want white people to read it. I would like able bodied white men to read it so they can see how their opposite is. Because many people don't see the privilege that they have. As they don't. And so I'm going to be writing on the pages my my pain, my struggle, but my happiness. I've had some great and amazing days. Even after being diagnosed, I just covered the day that I was diagnosed on the other channel not too long ago. But it was one of the most heartbreaking. Because after that, I went through deep trauma and depression. Picture over 30 years, doctors saying, the pain is in your head. You're making it up. Nothing's wrong with you. And then getting test results years later, once the pain has, yeah. But their undiagnosis diagnosed my life to even more pain. Because now you guys have learned about Mr. Spider. Sometimes I keep wondering what would have happened if I knew about my disability from a child. If I was able to go to physical therapy every single week at least. If I was able to have doctors who had empathy, compassion, and determined about me, but they did not listen and they ignored me. I will never forget Dr. George Cirilli. Go watch that episode. It's one of the What Makes the Villains episodes. Because after what I just went through with Mr. Spider and Dr. George Cirilli and a few others, I know how villains are created. Because now, like with my novel, with my characters, I'm starting to find more ways for my main character to make mistakes and be dark. And even with dating apps now, I used to care so much about, oh, if I swipe left on him, oh, I feel bad, like no, I don't, like now I don't. I know how villains are created. It's like I think I've cared so much about anybody and everybody because no one listened to me, no one cared about me, so I feel like I need to care about everybody else because I know how it feels to not be cared about. But while I write my novels, while I work on my main character, I'm digging into the pain and the memories and what made me wake up, you know? Because, okay, today I got to go see a beautiful musical at the theater, Hadestown. Oh my gosh. They had it for 5 nights only, and it was beautiful. 10 stars and more. 20 stars if I could. It was, and I'm gonna break it down in other episodes, but it was beautiful. And it was a tragedy. But then at the end, like, cause yeah, when they were, the beginning kept making me wonder, like, why is a tragedy so beautiful? But then I had to keep thinking about my life. Black woman with a disability. HR at job interviews would tell me, why don't you go get fixed and then come back to us? Oh, you don't want this job? You're not going to want to walk from the parking lot to our office. You're going to quit by the end of the week. Oh, did you get run over by a car? Oh, did one of your spouses or boyfriends hurt you, I'll say? Um, Oh, you must really want attention. You must really want this job. Those are only the disability related ones because I've been asked, where are you really from? No, no, no. Where are you really from? Who taught you how to talk like that? Oh, which one of your parents are white? No, it doesn't matter which one, but I'm just curious. Which one of your parents are white? How did you get your hair like that? You're mixed, but you ended up with. Yeah. And oh, who was my doctor with my yeah, I've gotten the, and that was at that was during a job interview. Who did my, yeah. So, but yeah, beautiful tragedy. I've been through a lot of tragedy. I've been through a lot of heartbreak. I've been excluded. I've been lied to so much. And the irony is, I was so honest for so long. But I'll be honest, I did start like my mom said I was nothing but a liar because of how I walk. She said, no, God would have never let you walk like this. Because the pastors told her, because the doctor told her. Beautiful tragedy. Because I do have to say it is a beautiful tragedy because of all of the hate that I've gotten throughout the years. I'm still struggling, but everyone telling me what I can't do, what I couldn't do. I did because they said I can't. I busted my tush off because they said I can't. Even finishing the novel, yes, it's taken me forever, but part of me, I'm like, you know what? It's worth that because I want to make sure when I get my book out there, Black woman with a disability main character is something that is needed, but I need to make sure that it's loud enough for people to want to hear. And I need to make sure it shows the reality. I need to make sure that people grow to know the need for empathy and compassion and learning, and their ignorance with DEI and their misunderstanding of who and how and humanity and individuality, and how when you say all lives matter, no, that comes with, yeah, bullet points, a list. Because when my humanity enters, especially the business realm, they don't have room for me. They don't want to do business with me. Since I was born, I didn't know I was going to need to create a wheelchair for the table. I thought I just had to make a woman's chair. It was no. It was going to have to be a women's wheelchair that I was going to have to pull up to that table. And so I'm going to have to write that in my stories. I'm going to tell the truth within it. And it's just, the hard part is the truth of the matter. Like, that's why with my episodes, I tell the truth. I write this like my diary. I write it with my heart, or I talk about it with my heart. And this episode is a little different, and I'm probably going to do a part 2 like this because of a few things happened today. And it's things that people don't even care about, or it's things that people don't have the empathy to care about. And it's sad, but it's part of disability life. It's a part of my life. And it's not as beautiful as the tragedy of Hadestown, but my life is a tragedy. As sad as that sounds. Will I ever get married or find love? No, I probably won't. I probably won't, but I will make sure it's beautiful. Thank you so much for listening. I'll be doing a part 2. Take care. Much love.